My name is Willem Westerink. I grew up in the Netherlands in a Christian family, and for the last 32 years I have been serving God in Kenya as a missionary. Actually, I never really had an interest in or thought that I would go to the mission field. In our home, my family was quite, I would say, connected to the mission from our denomination, from our church. And once a year they would go to like a special day where it was talked about missions and so. But personally, I never thought I would go to the mission field. But that came about when in 1990 I came to Kenya and I did a safari for 16 days and we traveled throughout Kenya. That time I met a couple who were running or actually leading a mission center in Kenya on the south coast. And the man who was speaking there, at some point he said, we really need somebody for the agriculture to work there. And when he said that, it was like, God is speaking to me, he's speaking to me. I didn't think that time, that was God really saying something. But I went back to the Netherlands and it did not, I couldn't get it out of my mind. After some months, God made it clear to me through a song. It says basically like, go to the mission field. There is work for everybody, go in a hurry. And from that time on, it was very clear to me that God wanted me to go to the mission field and actually to Kenya.
Kind of training?
Well, it was the missionaries I met in 91, that actually in 1990, they were with Youth with a Mission. And so to be able to join Youth with a Mission, it is required that you do first a discipleship training school, DTS. And so once you have gone through that training of 3 months and 3 months, 3 months lecture phase and 3 months outreach, then you can become a staff member of Youth with a Mission. When it came clear to my parents to myself that God was calling me to Kenya, my mom was actually glad. She had prayed for quite some time that God would use some of her children in the mission or for his kingdom. My father had great reservations. He was really concerned that, those days we didn't have internet, we didn't really have phones. So the only thing we could communicate was through like airmail, which was a very thin blue letter and which would fold as an envelope. You would send that one, it would take 2 weeks before it would arrive, and then you wait another 2 weeks before you get an answer back. So my father was actually very concerned that it would go, and he would basically only once in a while hear from me. He had many worries. My parents came in 92 to visit. From that time on, also my father really changed and became very supportive. Yeah. Well, there's another special story. I did a leadership training school in 95, September 95. So that was in Pune, India. And as we were there in that training, there was also from Youth with a Mission. There were about 150 students together, and about 50 of those students were Koreans. And as time went by, one person stood really out to me. And that is my current wife, Miheon. When I first came to Kenya, the missionary that we met during our safari, he was saying we really need people for agriculture and for medical work. And when he said for agriculture, it really spoke to my heart. And my background is also agriculture. And so when I came to Kenya, I already knew that base in Shimba Hills, that I would be involved in agriculture there. And what we were doing that time, it has a big piece of land, so we were growing different crops. One way to supply for the YWAM base, which had about 30 staff that time, and any surplus that we had, then we were selling it into the town so it could support the YWAM base there. As we moved to the Tanadelta region and at our center, really we saw that God gave us that place because we actually had different plans. And so our vision was to reaching the unreached people groups in Tanadelta through education, through medical care. And so myself, I was not so much involved with the education. That was more 선교사님 Hong. And so I was more involved with the construction of the different buildings, overseeing that and ordering the materials. Also, as time went by and we had a clinic built, we didn't have the nurse yet, but since April last year we have a nurse, and so I'm more involved with the clinic, overseeing that and the running of it. With the clinic now running, we have government hospitals, many times they don't have medicines. So we have people who come like 30 kilometers away. They come by motorbike. Some of them have to cross the river, and when the water in the river is low, they can just come with the motorbike through the riverbed. Other times they would have to take the canoe. But we have heard of stories of people who come like from the deep interior, about 60, 70 kilometers, and they rent a car just to come to our clinic. And for me, I'm really, thank God that, our clinic is getting such, known in the area, that we are giving such good service, because that is one thing that people are saying, that the clinic is very fair with the price. We don't provide just for free, because our experience in Shimba Hills was when the services of the clinic there was for free, that it didn't really do very good to people. It made people more dependent, and we want to really avoid that. So we're keeping the fee for the clinic treatment as low as possible, but also people are saying that they really getting good service at our clinic. So that's something really, we're very grateful for, because we know it's not our doing, but that God is giving us that favor with the people. So I think what was like a sad situation was in 2012, when we were in Tanadelta at our center, and the clashes broke out, tribal clashes between the Cushite people and who are pastoralists, have cows, and then also between the Pocomo tribe, who are more agriculture. So the Cushites, they would bring the cows into the fields of the Pocomos, and the cows would eat all their maize and destroy their fields. And so the Pocomos, they were solely relying on food from their fields. We call shambas in Swahili. So there were other things playing also, because Kenya, everything that happens is connected with politics. But the violence broke out between those different tribes, and a lot of houses were burned, and also a lot of people, like maybe over 70 people in total, were killed. So that was a very sad situation happening in Kenya, in our area at that time. And we visited some of the villages that were affected, and we saw how people had been wounded, and we saw how much sadness was in those villages. Well, one of the things that really gives joy when I see at our center how the kids are so happy, and they really, what I really love to see when my wife, when she comes from the house and early morning and she goes to the preschool, and then you hear kids already sing, "Teacher Mama Hong, Teacher Mama Hong, Teacher Mama Hong." That is really gives a lot of joy to see that, how the kids love her as a teacher. For me, I really see, God has brought us together. That is, things are not always easy, but I can see really God has given her a lot of giftings that are really needed in the ministry that we are doing there. She's a very good leader. She's wise in how she deals with the teachers. Me, I can sometimes become more easily mad at people, but she deals really wisely with people and the teachers. And I can also see that if it was for myself, if I would be there alone, we would never reach there. Of course, it is God who has really helped us, but we would never have reached there where we are now with the ministry. And so I can really say I respect really her for her character and how she is having also passion for the kids, but also for the people in Tanadelta. Well, we really want to see for the education side, there are still a lot of opportunities for growth. We are now just grade 5, so we also probably next year or the year after that, there is another, the government of Kenya has made some changes with the education system. So I think it is called junior secondary school, so which is another 2 years. So we're getting in the future probably students. The Ministry of Education already has given us a green light for that. And also, for the clinic, we're actually amazed how in this just over 1 year that we've been running, how things have been growing. In the beginning, first few months, we didn't have very many patients. But from January this year, we got a lot of patients, especially on Mondays, we have 50 to 70 patients sometimes, so it's very busy for our staff. So who knows how things are going to go in the future with the clinic, how we can expand, but God will show us in time. Let me try. Just very short, Asante sana Bwana, asante sana, 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 ninakupenda Bwana, ninakupenda. Ninakupenda Bwana, ninakupenda.